I'm Marci Degman, the Aspiring Gardener. Today we're going to talk about caring for Fatsia Japonica, which is also called Japanese Aralia. Most of the time when you find this plant at the nursery, it's in a 3 or 5 gallon container, and it's going to have a cluster of leaves very similar to what you see at the base of mine. So it's going to be a plant about maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. Now a lot of people with small space will take it and keep it cut at a certain height. If you keep it pruned each year, you can keep it a rounded shrub about 4 or 5 feet tall. If you don't, it will slowly over time become a tree. Now it only grows in zone 8 or warmer gardens, so if you have a really cold climate, you may not be able to grow this plant, but here in zone 8, I can grow it pretty easily. A lot of people plant them close to structures or with some kind of protection just to kind of make sure that it doesn't get too cold and damage it. But I've had this one here for many years. So zone 8 is definitely doable. Now what I did was, as it grew up a little bit more, I just trained it into a tree. So if you want your Fatsia Japonica to be a tree like I did, you just want to kind of take off any lower leaves or anything that sprouts out of the trunk. And most of the time it'll die back on its own as it grows up. Now the only other thing that I have to do each year is that I go around and look for yellow leaves. They'll fall on their own, but a lot of times there's a lot of yellow leaves during the time when the new leaves are coming in. So I'll go in and I'll kind of trim it up and take the yellow leaves. What will happen is all your foliage will be concentrated up above like this on the end of the leaves. And then when it goes through its yearly cycle, you'll end up with yellow leaves like this. So you'll have to go in and trim a little bit or pick them up off the ground, but that's normal for Fatsia Japonica. Now other than that, partial shade is really good. Too much hot sun will cause it to yellow, so you don't want to place it in a really hot position. Morning sun is really good. It also develops flowers. In my climate in December, it gets little clusters, or I should say large clusters of little white balls. So it's a really neat winter bloomer. And those are up at the top too. So if you want to be able to see them, you might want to keep it pruned down just low enough to see over top. Otherwise, it will get 12 feet tall. So you can prune it any you want from above. But at first when it's growing, you want to do the pruning from below, train it up into a tree. If you want to keep it down at the ground, you want to be pruning from the top down each year to keep it low. So either way, it'll grow well for you. It takes very little care, just needs a zone 8 partial shade situation. If it's very windy or you have a lot of bad weather, keep it close to a structure for a little bit of protection, and you'll have no problem growing this tree.